All right, team. I thought I'd make this video because whenever I tell people I work in product management, I kind of get oh, that's interesting. But I think they may not know what product managers do. So this video, I'm going to go into product managers, program managers, product marketing managers, software engineers, UX designers, user researchers. So we're going to try and cover the gamut of the variety of people that are typically involved in building innovative new products, at Google or Apple or, the next hot startup. And I'll try and hopefully help you understand what each of the roles do. And I might tune it for people who are trying to decide, maybe they're earlier in their career, as to which function is most promising and interesting to them based on their kind of unique personality or the way they think about problems or what they enjoy doing. So hopefully this is useful. So let's start with what's near and dear to my heart, product management. In the tech industry, the product managers are kind of like the orchestrators, or they often serve as the hub of all of the other kind of team members to kind of pull it together. What do they actually do? Their job is to figure out, with finite resources, what should we build, for who, and why. And it's a super interesting job. The types of people who do best in product management, they tend to be very, very curious, always learning, always trying to connect the dots, always trying to understand all of the different angles. They also tend to be pretty good and confident at putting stakes in the ground and proposing things and trying to bring consensus to help kind of unblock a team and move it forward. So there's definitely some leadership elements to it. And then maybe the third thing is they tend to be pretty entrepreneurial, where they're going to be willing to do, user or pitch in on user research one day and, help test for bugs the next day, or work on a customer call, a sales call even, another day, or write a long strategy document, or write a very detailed requirements document for the engineering team. So they're going to tend to want to work on lots of different things. So that's product managers. Software engineers, these are the folks that are writing the code, building the software that actually is making the product work. So while the product manager is figuring out, well, what should the product do and what are the next key improvements we want to make to the product, the engineers are the ones that are like, under the hood making it happen. And they tend to be obviously much more technical. So they'll pursue usually a computer science undergrad degree. There is no product management undergraduate degree. But a lot of PMs do have a CS background. But the engineers for sure almost always do. Sometimes they're self-taught, but usually they have a computer science degree. And they're really passionate about building stuff, getting their hands dirty, writing the code, testing it, iterating on it, figuring out hard technical challenges, and, kind of making it all happen at the technical level. So SWEs, or software engineers that are really helpful and effective generally, they're able to write beautiful code, but also solve really hard technical problems in novel ways. And they're able to do so both as individual contributors, but then also be part of an engineering team. Designers are the closest thing we have to artists in the product development process. So they're the ones that are saying, hey, let me design the user interface. Like, what does the user actually see? What should the experience be like when they're going through this process using this product? Where should this button be? Or how should we organize information so the user can understand what they should do next? Or how do we visualize this information so that it's more glanceable? Or how do we adapt this for mobile? Or what should the experience be if it's in a chat kind of environment? So the designers are the ones that are actually kind of putting pixels on the screen to figure out like what the thing should look like and how should the user interact with it. So folks that are really great designers tend to have done some design work in school. They may have a visual design, like an art background, or they may have a architecture kind of mind. They're awesome. They're fun to work with. Then there's user experience researchers. These are like your anthropologists or psychologists of the team, and they're all about really trying to help understand the user and the customer. Like, what is their pain point? Why are they struggling? What is their workflow like? How do they operate in their kind of natural habitat? And so you need that kind of insight, because if you just stay in your conference room and your office and build stuff for customers that are, in a different environment, you usually are going to have a lot of blind spots and assumptions and biases. So these user experience researchers really bring the customer into the building, and they tend to be, really like ethnographers and super interested and curious about humans and human behavior and how organizations work. So they'll partner up with the PM and the designer often a lot to figure out what we should build next and provide a lot of insight into informing that product strategy that the product manager focuses on, or they'll help the designer understand the user's context before they hit the screen, reach the screen or the product, so that the designer can build a product that kind of fits within the environment that it's going in and understands the user's unique kind of concerns or frustrations or hopes, whatever it might be. Then there's program managers. They are the masters of timelines and checklists and getting everybody on the same page and kind of keeping things moving forward. So they're super organized. They are very capable at managing complex, multifaceted projects with lots of dependencies and different teams involved. So program managers are also a really important part of the product development process. So, and then product marketers are like the external storytellers. They're going to take the product and they're going to try and make sure that once we have it, that it lands well with users, that they can know about it, we can educate them, they can decide to try us or buy us, and that we're positioned well in the industry where people know about our product or our company. So they're very much marketers in the form of they'll come up with ad campaigns, or they will build websites that talk about the product, or they'll help organize events where we're on the ground at a conference or where we're doing some kind of promotion, whatever it might be. And then they'll also be our eyes and ears, kind of like UXR, user researchers, but from a broad industry point of view, to bring that insight in. And then that then helps the product manager kind of make sure that we're kind of aware of where the industry is going and what it wants, so that we can kind of make that part of our strategic thinking. So I think I covered most of the product development functions. Hopefully this was useful to you. They're super cool. You don't have to pick one right away. There are people that move around a little bit, especially if you're earlier in your career. But, If you have any other questions about this kind of thing, you can always reach out, and look forward to connecting again in the future. Take care, and let's get back to work.